Alright, let's get started. We have a tier 72 Whispering Pines. The beneficial affix is going to be one of the best, 9% crit chance. And then we have two big negative affixes to deal with in Lightning Storm and Barrier Breakers that are going to change the way we play. If you want to see a full build guide, that's going to be in the description below. And if you want to just take a quick look at the skill tree, Paragon boards, and equipment, that'll be at the end of the video. I'm Stoyvin, welcome to my channel. I enjoy pushing high-end Sorc content in Diablo 4, and for the past few weeks I've got to enjoy sharing it with so many people here on this channel. In my previous commentary, the focus was mostly on the different crowd control effects and debuffs and how to maximize damage with all of them up. And while I'll still be doing plenty of that today, I wanted to shift the focus a little bit towards some of the build's defenses. We're going to be getting hit. A lot. And hopefully when those big hits come in, we have enough damage mitigation in place for them. Now, the most important thing to remember about this build's defenses is that we want to be up close, and we want to be hitting the enemies before they hit us. By that, I don't mean we have to kill them before they hit us. Oftentimes, just hitting them to apply the burning from the Firebolt enchant will be enough. We stack a lot of damage reduction versus burning enemies, and we stack a lot of damage reduction against close enemies. So as long as we're close to them, roughly in melee range will do, and hitting them to apply burning, we're going to be taking way less damage from them. Teleport is also going to be a big key in our survival. It does so many things we want a skill to do. It repositions us so we can avoid danger. It pulls in enemies to get more of them into that close range. It even deals damage, which applies the burning effect from the Firebolt enchant. It stuns enemies so that they can't hit us right away. And on top of all that, it gives us 30% damage reduction for 3 seconds thanks to the Shimmering Teleport passive. This is going to be something that we're going to want to try to keep up as much as possible in combat. And we can do it with nearly 100% uptime because Teleport's one of our shortest cooldowns. The last key defensive layer I want to go over is the aspect of Disobedience, otherwise known as the armor stacking legendary aspect. At maximum stacks, this is functionally doubling my effective health pool. Currently for me with no stacks, my armor is giving me around 40% damage reduction. That would mean that a 10,000 hit would have armor reduce it down to just 6,000. At 100 stacks, my damage reduction from armor goes up to 70%. Now you might say, wait a second, 70% isn't double 40%, but the way damage reduction works, it's still effectively doubling my HP. Going back to that example, that same 10,000 hit that used to deal 6,000 damage, now is only dealing me 3,000 damage when I'm at max stacks. Because of this, the time when we're going to be most susceptible to take damage or die is going to be when we're traveling between packs of enemies. We're not going to have up our 100 stacks of the armor, we're not going to have our other defensive layers like being close or having enemies burning, and we're most open to getting one shot at this time. That's why when we approach a new pack like this one, we try to push into the most dangerous threats, stay close, make sure they're burning, and then bring them down. Coming back to the negative affixes on the map real quick, let's talk a little bit about Lightning Storm. These protective barriers are something that we absolutely either have to get inside or pop an immunity for if we're going to be outside, otherwise they will one-shot us. There's no way to treat them as a close enemy or a burning enemy, so we're just missing out on way too much damage reduction from them, and the lightning bolt that they conjure will one-shot us. Now this pack of Chlorats is extremely dangerous. We immediately popped our cheat death from a distant enemy, and now we have to stay inside this protective lightning storm bubble, or that happens. We got a little impatient there, trying to take on that damage reduction aura monster. We made a mistake, and we paid for it. Now we're heading back to the site of our death, and we find the map objective. That's nice. Everything was available, so we made quick work of him. We're going to just clear a pack while he's exploding, and then head back onto the next objective. Now the other big negative affix in this dungeon, in addition to Lightning Storm, was Barrier Breakers. What Barrier Breakers does is it makes monsters deal 100% additional damage against barriers. Barriers usually play a significant role in our defenses. Whenever we use a cooldown, we get a 30% barrier, and whenever we pop Ice Armor, we get a huge barrier, plus the 30% barrier. But in this dungeon, they're going to be significantly reduced. We're not going to have that massive tanky shield that we might be used to. That's why we have to really play tactfully to enable all the other defensive layers to go to work, and not just rely on barriers as we might in some other dungeons. Here, this event is actually one of the easiest ones. There doesn't appear to be any hard elites. There doesn't appear to be any hard mobs, just spiders. These spiders don't seem to have any tough undeath effects or anything, so as long as we can manage to stay out of that lightning storm, we're going to be okay. Coming up here, I made the mistake of going into that room without having teleport up, which means that the whole pack is just going to be a little tougher to deal with, and I lost focus there and tanked the explosion of a spider host. I got so used to fighting easier monsters that I forgot that spider hosts are going to explode on death, and it cost me one there. On-death effects are still going to be some of the hardest hitting things for this build. They're piercing through our barriers in this dungeon thanks to Barrier Breaker, and we don't get any of the benefits of our damage reduction once we kill a mob. They're no longer close, they're no longer burning, they're just hitting us for that full unmitigated damage. Anyways, our philosophy while clearing this second half of the dungeon is going to be a little bit different to what we did on the outside. We're going to be dealing with mostly small rooms here, and we're going to be taking these small rooms with a much more precise and surgical approach. We're going to make sure we have our cooldowns available when heading into a new room, and we're going to try our best to wait for a lightning storm bubble, wait it out, stay inside the protective area of it, then open the door with everything up. Well, it took about 2 seconds there for me to ignore my own plan. I open a door, rush into a new pack, am greeted by a horde, and there's this bubble I gotta wait in. Luckily the mobs weren't too difficult, and now we're into the heart of this pack, about to show off my tankiness as this mob is chunking me to about half health on each hit. Nothing we can't deal with though. Here we're going to follow the instructions and wait for the barrier and then go into the next room. We got our ultimate up and ready, we got all our cooldowns available. We're going to try to get up and close, everything's burning. We're feeling pretty tanky right now with 100 stacks. And we're just fighting this guy. He's hitting us, we can see our health going down. But we have all of our defensive layers and it's not too much a problem. We're not totally sure what's up ahead, so we're just going to play a little safe. Seems like there's not too much to worry about in this room. And now we're just waiting a little bit before opening the next door. We got a bubble, but we got our immunity up. And we found a protection shrine. So now we don't have to worry about damage for the next 30 seconds. We're just going to try to get as good of a CC rotation as we can on these mobs. Waiting out this unstoppable that the shaman has. Everything's up, and he's gone. Maybe we can get one more room out of this pylon if we're quick. Nope, just wore off. But we got a channeling pylon now, and that's going to let us get at least a couple ultimates out of it, and have frost novas and flame shields with extremely high uptimes. Well, we're already one ultimate down, and we got another one going. And the enemy horde approaches means that the enemies in the keep are about to be no more. We're gonna pretty easily clean them up here, and then look to push on to the final boss. Ooh, unique amulet. Let's see how that one rolled. I believe that's gonna be the crackling energy one. Not the best roll I've ever seen. We're not turning around for that, we'll just pop in immunity and get ready for the boss. So now our philosophy with bosses is going to be kill him in a stagger. We're going to try to control when he goes into his first stagger. Our goal is going to be to have Frost Nova up to put vulnerable on him for the 6 seconds, and have unstable currents at the ready so that we can deal as much damage as possible in that short window that he staggered. Right after that lightning barrier, we're going to push him, we're going to Frost Nova him, we got our ult going, and that should just about be it. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for watching, and please consider dropping a like and subscribe if you want to see more high-end Sorcerer content. Now, as I go through my gear, if you want to pause on any specific piece, please feel free to do so. I believe my newest addition have been my offhand and my pants to the build. The biggest change in the skill tree that I've made recently is adding in Hoarfrost for some more damage multiplier versus frozen enemies. And jumping over to the Paragon board, I'll go real quick. We have Control Socket starting off, then we have Exploit in the Burning Instinct tree, then we're going to have Tactician in the Frigid Fate tree, then we're going to go over to Imbiber in the Elemental Summoner tree, and now here's the new board. We have Flame Feeder in the Static Surge tree, and then I've added the Territorial Glyph here in the Enhancement Master tree. So I'm up to 6 glyph sockets now. Thank you for watching.